catch this guy, do you know?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's just sort of take it, let's sort of take the past and the future and break it into two parts. In terms of what happened to you, you do have a lawsuit. It will depend on whether or not they've had other problems in the building before in that parking lot, and on whether they're on notice that they've had problems. It sounds to me if they have a security guard in the parking lot, then they're probably on notice, and that's the reason why they hired him. You may have a lawsuit against the owner of the building, the management company that ran the building. They're liable if they're careless in not providing security for you, and one of the elements is they have to know about it. So it's something here that you may be able to sue them. Depending on your injuries, so you lost a week's work on the truck.
Can you work now? Are you able to go back to work yet?
No. The doctor said I have at least a couple more weeks.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, so you're going to have some substantial losses, and hopefully not any permanent injury. You know, the limit of small claims court is $7,500. You can do that yourself. On the other hand, your case may be worth substantially over that amount. You may want to go see a lawyer within the next month or so after you see how you're recovering. And so, I mean, that's what you do have a lawsuit for your injuries. You also have a lawsuit against the person who robbed and attacked you, but you'll never find him.
And when you do, all he's got is the money that he stole from you, probably.
And if they're not caught within the first hour or so, they generally never catch them
That's
anyway
true.
in this kind
That's
of
true.
situation.
But there's one more source.
Now, is this a condo you live in, or is it an apartment house?
It's an apartment house.
Okay, well, the apartment also has an obligation to, keep it reasonably safe. How long have you lived at the apartment?
About a year and a half now.
Okay, so your lease is over. You can leave any time.
I think so. I think I'm at month to month now, so I can leave whenever
All right.
I want to.
So if you really feel unsafe, it's 30 days notice, and you're out of there if you're month to month. The other thing you can do is a letter to the management company and the owner and demand that they put security down there. If that doesn't work out, then you contact the city council person who covers San Pedro. You advise them that they're running an unsafe building. They'll send out building and safety. They'll send out code enforcement. And you may be able to get the government to put some pressure on them.
Jennifer, is it safe to assume that the police department was called? Down in San Pedro?
Yes, the LAPD, yes.
Yeah, okay. And was there a report was taken?
Yes.
Okay. There's another source of revenue that you might pursue, and that's the victims of violent crime. You were a victim of it sounds like a felonious assault, so you qualify, and you were injured, so you qualify to receive compensation from a state fund called the Victims of Violent Crime. That law has been on the books for at least 40 years now, or about 40 years. I would suggest you contact the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Tell them that you've got a police report that you're injured, you've got medical bills and a doctor's report, and you want to file an application for the Victims of Violent Crime. It's a form that you have to fill out. It's not overly complicated. And if everything else falls through, the state of California will probably come through for you with payment of up to $25,000. If, however, you actually file a lawsuit and win, you'll probably have to pay back that $25,000, but by then you'll be pretty happy to do that.
And there's a LA District Attorney's Office in or about the Long Beach Superior Court. I don't believe there's one in San Pedro.
No felonies there anymore, huh?
So that's what you need to do. What I want you to do in the next few days is go do your homework, do these things, and then get back to us in the next couple of weeks and let us know what went on, okay?
Yeah, don't forget your T-shirt.
Okay, well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Okay, Jennifer.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, and thanks for calling Legal Help Live. We've got a lot of people we want to talk to. How about if we How about if we go to line 3 and talk to Abel? Okay. Abel,
Yes, hello?
How you doing?
we hear you.
Ralph and Steve, Legal Help Live. How can we help you?
Yes, hello. It's just, I've been trying to get a lawyer. Just, okay, I was in a car accident, and I had a lawyer, and the lawyer sent me to a doctor, right?
Okay, so you have a car accident, and you leave the scene of the accident by ambulance?
No, actually, no. The ambulance got there, but at the moment, I didn't feel injured.
Okay.
That means, I told the ambulance that I wasn't feeling well.
All right.
And by the time that I went to a lawyer, well, he sent me to the hospital, and all the paperwork from the hospital, from the UNC hospital, it didn't make any sense, because then I went back over there, and my lawyer told me to go back over there and get some paperwork, and which I did, but they didn't have nothing. And all the documents from the lawyer and the doctors, it didn't make any sense. But at the moment, I was trying to change the doctors because they weren't taking care of me.
Okay. Well, what you need, first of all, if you're unhappy with a lawyer, you can change with a lawyer anytime, even though you've signed a contingency agreement, which means you only pay them if they get some money for you. You can change lawyers if you're unhappy, and you don't owe the lawyer any money. He or she, if she can demonstrate that they've put some time into your case, may get something out of the lawyer's end of it.
But not your end. That does not mean that your recovery is diminished that way. If a second lawyer comes in, the first lawyer may get some money from the second lawyer, but not you.
I also feel sort of, it sort of puts my antenna up when the lawyer's referring you to a doctor, and then the doctor is basically not treating you. You're smart. You sound very smart. You should get yourself to another doc. Do you have insurance?
Actually, I do right now.
All right. So if you're on some insurance plan, if it's one of these PPOs where you just call the plan, they'll refer you to a doctor in your area. Go see an independent doctor, and then find yourself another lawyer. You'll probably feel a lot better, get treated, and have somebody pay you a little more respect. Okay?
Yes, perfect. And is there any way that you could give me a number or somebody that I could call in?
You could call.
I've been trying to do this for a while, man, and they just keep on giving me the runaround.
Okay.
The lawyers aren't there anymore. The doctors ain't there. It doesn't make no sense.
Okay, to get a new lawyer, what city do you live in?
He's Northridge.
The
Northridge.
San Fernando Valley Bar Association has a referral service, or the Los Angeles County Bar Association has a referral service. You can call them via phone, and they'll give you the name of one or two lawyers who do the kind of work you're talking about in the area where you're at.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Abel.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for calling Legal Help Live.
You know, that's...
We have Larry from Santa Monica.
Well, let's do Larry.
Let's do Larry. Come on. Larry?
Hello.
Larry, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
We're doing okay.
Well, it's, is it Friday yet? No.
If you want it to be.
Seems like Friday today.
Larry, how can we help you?
I am the conservator for a 39-year-old man who has lived with me for 11 years, but for the last 4 months has been in and out of hospitals. He is getting out soon, tomorrow as a matter of fact, and I can't have him live here with me anymore. The landlord doesn't want him here because he's gravely disabled and a little disruptive. And I want to know about how I have my conservatorship papers and the notebooks that they gave me from the court, but how do I get an apartment for the two of us when he is an adult and they're going to want him to fill out an application, but in fact he is a minor or considered a minor because of his conservatorship.
As a conservator, you can sign on the lease.
On his behalf. You just have to have the conservatorship papers with you.
Yeah,
to
those
demonstrate
papers,
that there's a
the order,
conservatorship.
there's a court order, I take it. A court order.
And
The co-
that's not going to scare a
No,
prospective
no. I think